out of Cleveland. James Harden, he sustained a fracture in his right thumb. It occurred during last night's win over the New York Knicks. Brian Windhorst, Chiney Ogwumike, Mark Spears. Brian, what do we know about this and this diagnosis?
It's the tip of his thumb.
Yep.
And he's going to consult with the hand specialist today. But he's questionable, but I think he's intending to play tonight.
So he is questionable for this game against the Milwaukee Bucks. And it's his right thumb that he's
His right hand, obviously, he's a left-handed player.
Right. So, Chiney, he's a lefty. How is this actually going to impact James Harden?
So he's a lefty. This is my left hand.
Yep.
And then right thumb, the tip of the thumb. I know a lot of people that have thumb injuries that are not that bad, and it seems like this one doesn't seem too serious.
Yeah.
They just tape it up. The issue could potentially just be the catch. You feel it because you use that to really get protection of the ball. But this guy is basketball savvy, so if he's available, that means that it's probably in a better situation than most.
So this is going to happen when he's catching the ball, Chiney, more so than when he's shooting it. Can you show us the difference?
Yeah, so when he catches it, you need all hands to catch the ball because no one throws perfect passes 100% of the time, right? They're going to be here, you're going to have to grab it, and you're going to use some force behind it.
All right.
Now, when you shoot, it's a little bit softer because your offhand is what guides it and does not really dictate where the ball goes. So if he's able to hopefully, you know, I'm assuming tape it up.
Right.
I've seen countless players play with a taped up, messed up little bit thumb.
All right, so I've talked to a couple of folks around the Cavaliers this morning and around James Harden, and it seems, Brian, that they're hoping that this is a pain tolerance issue. But he is meeting with several other specialists here just to make sure that, as Chiney says, this is the only extent of this is to tape up that thumb and it's not displaced or something more.
Yeah, that's the key. It's not displaced. And so, you know, if it was another finger, you'd buddy wrap it. You can't really buddy wrap your
thumb.
You need it. But, you know, there's optimism that he's avoided serious injury, the folks that I've talked to. Also, we'll point out Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley will be out for tonight. Mobley coming off a calf injury. This is the 5th game in 7 nights. But, you know, James Harden, we're in an era where not all-star players play every game. James Harden has a reputation of playing through stuff. 5 games in 7 nights. Again, as long as he gets the clearance from the hand specialist, what I'm told is he's going to try to play tonight's game.
Okay.
You know, one thing he's done incredibly well is made Mobley and Jared Allen, like, much better. So many alley-oop passes, easy buckets. Does that, and I want to ask you that, I know you weren't about the shot, but does it affect his passing?
Well, it's not just the passing. Again, if you're taped up, and I know you said, Wendy, that normally you buddy wrap when you have fingers like this. I feel like Spock right now.
Yeah, doing that.
But sometimes the wrap goes around, and that is more unnatural, especially if you're dribbling, right? You dribble, you need to be able to have different points where you access the ball, whether it's a wide divide or closer. So, I mean, again, if it's a pain tolerance thing.
And that passing comes from left hand, too.
Right. Yeah. But it's both sides of the floor. You're going to need to dribble with the right hand. You're going to need to dribble with your left. You're going to be able to catch with your right and catch with your left. And if he's protected and it's a good pain tolerance, these are the types of things that hoopers are known to play with.
Again, James Harden finished this game, their win over the Cleveland Cavaliers in what could have been an Eastern Conference Finals preview. Right now, it's unclear exactly when he sustained this injury, only that he was still feeling some discomfort today. And so now doctors are looking into just the extent of that. But we hear that's a question that is going to be asked over the course of the day. We'll have more on that a little bit later. But, Chiney, we're sitting here in Los Angeles.
We are.
You have a ball.
I do.
And there is one question that is circling around this city.
Shoot!
Why did Luka shoot that shot? And that is where we head now with Luka, LeBron putting the loss in Los Angeles. Let's pick up their line.
What did you see on the last possession there coming out of the timeout?
I know I was open, but I just thought I was a little bit far. Try to take one dribble closer. Probably shouldn't have picked up the ball. Just try to attack.
Doncic obviously will get the ball into his hands.
Doncic has the ball, down by 2.
There's the switch.
Gobert is out there. Doncic maneuvers for the lead. Got it! What a shot!
Doncic pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang!
Doncic down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Doncic for the win. Oh yeah! Luka Doncic, the dagger.
They've worked on that. LeBron has 5 to get it in. Luka with 5 seconds. Luka, LeBron for the win. And the Warriors going to sneak out here with a victory.
All right, so as I was trying to say there, the Los Angeles Lakers, Luka saying that he didn't really see the shot. We've seen him take it from that place on the floor a couple of times. But there was a lot of game to be played before we got to that point. So, Chiney, we're going to pick this up in the second quarter. The Lakers up by 9.
Your favorite words, right? You like to do the impression. Oh, man.
Blocked by James.
Blocked by James. It never gets old.
LeBron James, his signature chase down block there. And then the Lakers.
Hello.
Oh, that was a takeoff move.
Watch your head. Los Angeles building on their lead here in the third quarter. Final minutes of the third quarter here. Paolo Banchero gets to his spot high off glass.
You're asking Mark Spears for Paolo Banchero to answer the call, and he absolutely did that in that third quarter, 17
Ever since
points.
the All-Star break.
Ring, ring, fourth quarter calling. Luka Doncic gets that one to go. Lakers up by 2. Under 2 minutes to play now. Magic down 3. Banchero spins.
And what's on?
Some way, somehow, gets that one to drop. You can see that LeBron's a little frustrated there. And then Desmond Bane, this is why they got him, Shanae.
This is exactly why they got him. You don't come off of a strong side shooter. But
Knock
guess what?
it
He's
down.
not a heater as of late.
The triple. All right, it's a 1-point game now. Just lost sight of LeBron there.
Yep. I mean, that's when you start thinking maybe the ball's on their side.
And yet, you gotta box out Wendell Carter Jr., able to get this one to go, and the Magic take a 1-point lead. And then the play heard round the world. 7 seconds left, same score. Luka turns down the shot, gives a little bit of a grenade to LeBron there. The triple, no good. Luka is as wide open as he can get here, Brian.
Look, they didn't need 3 points. Like, this was a very inventive play by J.J. Redick. It generated an awesome shot, but it was 28 feet from the basket. They didn't need 3.
They did not. And yet LeBron was forced to take one in the final seconds, a heave that didn't go. So the Magic hang on to win by 1. Here's Luka and LeBron on that final possession.
Hey, Luka, what did you see on the last possession there coming out of the timeout?
I know I was open, but I just thought I was a little bit far. Try to take one dribble closer. Probably shouldn't picked up the ball. Just try to attack.
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously you have to ask Luka what he saw on that, but I thought he had a good look, and it looked like he kind of just lost his balance. You know, didn't have a rhythm with the ball, whatever the case may be, and it kind of allowed him to get back in front of him. You know, I was kind of off balance when he gave it to me. I thought he had a great look, but no, that's what I looked. That's my POV.
Did you and LeBron have any communication about the final play after it was over? When you passed it to him, did you think he had a shot, or did you recognize that it was kind of be a tough opportunity?
I mean, I just saw him open. I didn't want to lose the ball, and we didn't have timeouts, you know. But like I said, you know, shouldn't have picked up the ball. I should attack. I thought I was getting a clean look, but that's it.
All right, so it seems like Luka and LeBron weren't necessarily on the same page, Brian. We hear the reaction all over Los Angeles, but what was yours?
Okay, so this was we didn't have the full play on there, but J.J. Redick sort of ran a football play. He had all the players in the backcourt. They ran like a wide receiver bunch formation. It's a great design. DeAndre Ayton throws one of the best screens you're ever going to see. He actually screened 2 guys. It's brilliant. But I will just point out, let's say he takes that shot, okay? It's like 28 feet. 25% he makes
Down
it?
1.
It's not like it's a wide open layup.
But I don't think the problem is that I think if he took it and missed it, nobody would have had a problem with it.
Well, I don't have a problem with it anyway because the Lakers didn't lose the game on this play. They gave up 60% shooting in the fourth quarter. Yeah. You mentioned Austin Reeves failed to block out the previous possession. If Austin Reeves just blocks out, they get the rebound.
But look at this right here. Luka has a wide open look, and I can understand in a solitary environment with this one game, he's shooting 2 for 10 from 3. Your confidence is probably not all the way there on knocking down a 3-point shot to win the game. But even bigger than that, it's more so the mindset. Like, we have known Luka Doncic to be that alpha dog, to want that moment. And I do believe the floor was a little bit cramped, but it begs the question, you know, LeBron in some ways deflecting, like, hey, I felt like Luka had a good look. But Luka's like, well, clearly 2 people, even when I thought about shooting it, reacted to me and I needed another option. It just sort of is a microcosm of the Lakers' season so far. As Wendy said, and yes, this is the number that I was looking for. Luka hasn't even shot. This is one of the best clutch teams in basketball. They were 13-0 to start the year in clutch time. Yeah. I think they've wobbled as of late. But he has not even shot or attempted in this scenario in the final 90 seconds of the fourth quarter or OT this season. Whereas other people have. And to me, that's
Austin Reeves looking pretty good.
He's looking real good. 2 for 2, baby, 100%. When you start 13-0 in clutch time, maybe you feel like, okay, the mindset is I can get other people going and they can knock down that shot. Okay. But they have not had that same record in clutch time games as of late, which means you expect him to regain to that form. But this is just a different system here. He thrives in systems where he knows he's going to be that alpha, but now he's deferring in some ways that we are not accustomed to, maybe because he's playing alongside and thinking of LeBron.
I'm going to go a couple minutes before that shot. And Brian's watched this since the dude was a teenager. there's not many players in the NBA that close games better than LeBron James. And in the 1 to 2 minute mark, Luka shot a 3, Austin shot a 3. LeBron James is standing over the side with Desmond Bane guarding him. He's taller than Desmond Bane, 50 pounds heavier, and he's there while they're doing this one-on-one. And I think as great as Luka is, I want the ball in the LeBron James hands because he could take the ball to the basket, pass out to Luka, pass out to Austin. I don't think he should have taken the ball out at the end of the game. I think he should have got the ball at the end.
You're talking about the margins that are sort of, that's what you were saying before, though.
And he's a great closer, and he didn't get a chance to close.
The strange thing is that when LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves are on the court together this year, the Lakers are actually a terrible offensive team. Not subpar. Genuinely bad. And it doesn't make sense because these guys are all awesome scorers. In fact, when Luka and Reeves are on the court together, they're like, per 100 possessions, they're like plus 12. When the three of them are on the court together, they're -8. That's a 20-point spread. Right. When LeBron is on the court with any other 4 Lakers besides Luka and LeBron, or Luka and Reeves, they're plus 7.5 over 100. That's a great thing. These 3 guys have similar skill sets. And they crash into each other. If they had another 500 minutes, 1,000 minutes to play together, maybe it wouldn't be the case. But they haven't had that luxury.
It sounds a little silly, but in my brain, I'm saying, do they respect each other too much? We've seen situations, especially at the start of the year, where Austin Reeves was carrying the Lakers. Then you go over to LeBron having this run that amounts to him being an all-star. And everyone knows 2 or 3 years ago, LeBron James said, hey, I'm not the franchise guy. It's actually Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis is no longer here. This is clearly Luka Doncic's future. And so in those moments, maybe you expect, based off of what the built-up system has been, for Luka to take over. But at the end of the day, it was like the shot was wide open. He could have taken it. Why? What's the hesitation? J.J. Redick has to fix that mindset.
Right, and LeBron James is saying, okay, maybe he was a little bit off balance in that moment, and so he passed it to me. So, but as we saw in the Open, there's several times in which this is kind of the shot that he at least takes and oftentimes makes. But cue up the song, the Orlando Magic, for all the executing that the Lakers did not do, they were able to take advantage, Mark.
And they've won 6 of their last 8.
Don't look now. The Orlando Magic, this is what they were envisioning when they brought in Desmond Bane to be able to come up
Better
in
late
those
than
big
never,
moments.
sis.
Better late than never.
Carroll's
Always on time. Hey, coming up here on NBA Today, how about Buzz City? They've been buzzsaws on the road lately. To catch you up on the action from around the NBA, starting with the Timberwolves. A little West Coast swing for them. They got a win in Portland. Anthony Edwards, 34 points. Jaden McDaniels iced the game with a lob to himself. Mark, how far can Ant take this Wolves team?
I got to see some fire. I got to see some fire from him. We know what kind of game he has, but 2 Western Conference appearances, no finals appearances. I got to see a killer mentality over this superstar.
I love this highlight, though.
That's amazing.
I mean, if you can, why not?
He also made 5 threes.
He did. Hey, how about Buzz City? They brought the heat to Chi-Town. They blew out the Bulls thanks to a huge third quarter. Shanae, can this team make the playoffs, not play in?
I'm sorry, I still
2016.
live in reality because they are 6 games back from the 6th spot, but they will make the play in and then hopefully make their way to the playoffs. Right now, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but I like that their starting 5 had 16 threes. Concadipple, 21 points in 23 minutes. They are buzzing. Wait, what's the
Bulls are down bad, man.
Yeah, they are. But we looked at their roster at the trade deadline and could have told you that. All right, how about the Sixers, though? Joel Embiid back in the lineup after missing the last 5 games. He had that leg issue. 27 points in 26 minutes for him. Brian, what did he show you?
This was a really encouraging performance because, you know, you just never know how he's going to look. He had great movement. He actually moved pretty well on defense, too, in rim protection. 20 points in the first half of this game. So picked up right where he left off that hot streak before he had to sit down with that knee issue.
Not to mention 32 from Tyrese Maxey. Shanae, you want some gumbo? Let's get to the
all day, every day.
DeJounte Murray, welcome back. He made his season debut, returning from that Achilles tear. Zion, though, he stole the show. Monster dunk, of course, en route to this one. Mark, what stood out to you?
Kudos to DeJounte Murray. It's been over a year since he played, and they put him back in the starting lineup. 13 points, had a few turnovers. But good for him to be back, especially with everything he's been going through, not only on the court, but off.
Absolutely. How about we go to Atlanta, friends? That's where Jonathan Kuminga,
Atlanta.
he was cooking in his debut.
Revenge game.
Sure, against the Wizards. Let's go into the first quarter here. Kuminga, though, gets it in transition. This is what you want to see, that athleticism on display here.
I mean, we knew that was there, but it's the smiles. We should have done a tracker of how many times he was smiling on the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Evil smile, by the way.
Joy for him. And then Kuminga bringing the energy here off the steal. Oh, nice pass. And then for the slam.
The Wizards weren't smiling when they saw they had to wear those jerseys again.
The athleticism. Later in the third here, Kuminga catches it in the corner, knocks down the triple. A few months back, Hawks fan Boozy shared a tweet with Kuminga. If the Warriors don't want him, the Hawks will take him. Well, the Hawks did. 27 points off the bench, and the Hawks get the win here as Kuminga steals the show. And the joy, right? That's probably that's the most important thing besides the bench points here. Mark, what did you think?
Ansi Soleil. Do you know who that is?
Ansi Soleil.
Ansi before Soleil.
He's the general manager of Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, whoops, Lord. I thought we were going Latin.
He worked for the Warriors from 2022 to 25 and just got the GM job. So he had an inside track on what Kuminga could be for them. And Kuminga, as you said, I haven't seen him smile that much since his days with the G League Ignite. I expect him to take off. You know, Quinn Snyder, I thought, did an outstanding job getting the most out of Jalen Johnson after he spent basically his first 2 years in the G League, and I expect him to get the same. Me and Malika might differ on this. I feel like there are some groans in the Bay Area over this, but Warriors fans will probably say, all right, let's see if he could do this for a string of games, because Kuminga will give you that punch, and maybe the next game.
It's an interesting situation here. So Jalen Johnson, who's probably contender for All-NBA, he gets hurt in the first quarter of this game. Hip injury. Hopefully he's okay, but might miss some time. That opens the door for an extra minutes for Kuminga, who plays basically the same position. I would not be surprised if Kuminga now goes into the starting lineup if Jalen Johnson misses some time. And so after everything that's happened to Jonathan Kuminga this year and over the last couple of years, he's finally back from injury, and he gets this remarkable opportunity. They need him. The Hawks are not tanking. They are trying to win. They don't have their draft pick. They now need some scoring, and this could be Kuminga's time here to show his value to not only the Hawks, but to other teams in the league.
In other words, Wendy and Mark, to me, this was a perfectly petty performance. Perfectly petty performance. Now, mind you, for a debut, typically it's not that great with the Atlanta Hawks, right? He had the best debut. I'm saying just contextually, this is the best debut since 2002. He had 27 points. Prior to that, that player scored like 32. So they've been waiting for someone that is excited to be here, that wants to perform. And then on top of it, the reason why I say, look at this, like the dap ups, the smile.
Yeah.
I ain't seen that in a while.
How many teeth are there after like all 32 or whatever, how many, all 24 were showing? It was not just what he did, it was how he did it. 3 for 4 from 3, multiple dunks, athleticism on display, comfortable.
And they run.
I see why some maybe Golden State Warriors fans will be like, oh.
This was Jonathan Kuminga. This is the potential that he always had. This is the flashes that he's always shown. And it is great to see a player who has that, to be able to put that on display. Good for Jonathan Kuminga. We are super glad to see him back on the floor. We got a lot to get to on this show, though. Boston, first-time All-Star. He's averaging career highs in points, in assists, and threes. He's just one of 2 players averaging 25 points, 5 assists on 40% shooting from beyond the arc this season. Who's the other player, you might ask? Well, that would be his teammate, right? Nikola Jokic, the only other duos in NBA history to put up those numbers for an entire season. That would be KD and Kyrie, that was in Brooklyn, and KD again, with Steph Curry in Golden State. And then as for the Celtics, Jaylen Brown is just over 29 points a game. They are on pace to be the 3rd most in Celtics history. And with Boston on the road tonight, it is worth mentioning that Brown is on pace to be the first player in Celtics history to average 30 points per game on the road. But will he play tonight? It is the second night of a back-to-back for Boston. So for more, we welcome in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what is the latest with Jaylen Brown, who was out yesterday with that right knee contusion?
Malika, Jaylen Brown is in. He will be playing tonight in Denver, the second night of a back-to-back. And last night they were able to rest him, sit him. He's only missed 6 games all season. He's been as durable as they come on this MVP caliber trek this season. We've seen his performances being able to lift this team, and he's going to take this opportunity tonight to again prove why he believes he's the MVP.
All right, so Jaylen Brown, good news for Celtics fans. He is in for this battle against Denver. But the big question all season long for the Boston Celtics is when and if they are going to see Jason Tatum. Here's what Joe Mazzulla had to say about that on Sunday.
Did Jason practice yesterday?
He was at practice.
Did he participate in any of it?
Okay, at the risk of Shams, you giving me one of those 1,000-yard stares, what is the latest on Jason Tatum?
Like, I'm not going to stare you down like that.
Okay,
I promise you. What I can tell you, though, is Jason Tatum has been a full go in 5-on-5 scrimmages with the Celtics. And right now, it's about him continuing to put in the time, continue to get his conditioning up. And that comes through a number of practices and scrimmages. And there are two elements right now at play. One is increasing the strength in both of his calves off of that Achilles tendon injury. And the big hurdle of all of this is getting 100% there on the mental side, getting the confidence in his leg fully when he's back. The common theme that I've gotten from people around Jason Tatum is he will be back on the floor when JT feels like JT, quote, unquote. And that process, the Celtics have continued to let him lead that. He's in the driver's seat. They will take Jason Tatum's lead as far as when he feels like he's ready and cleared. And then eventually, Malika, a dozen people here, doctors, Celtics officials, Jason Tatum's side, Jason Tatum himself, they're going to gather in a room and get him to the point where he wants to be, which is in March. And as we get closer and closer to the playoffs, make a decision about whether he's able to make it back out on the floor.
Okay, so not only is it all of the actual benchmarks that the doctors and all of the medical staff and the training staff need to do to say, okay, Jason Tatum is physically cleared to play. There's also that last piece for Jason Tatum to say, which is a huge one. I feel like I am myself, like I am back, like I am ready. Shams, I always appreciate the insight and information, and I would always be down for a staring contest, but I do appreciate that that's not the route you went here. Just to remind everyone what's on tap tonight, it's at 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. These are the best two offenses in the NBA this season. And actually, it's not even just the season. It's two of the most efficient offenses that we've ever seen. We're talking about in NBA history here. Mark, what are you watching in this one?
The continued dominance of Jaylen Brown. I remember talking to Joe Mazzulla at the start of training camp, or start of the season. He said Jaylen had a great training camp. He's healthy. He wants to be coached. And obviously, Jason Tatum's not there, and he's filled the void with a career high in points. But he's been more of a leader. He's been more of a mentor to these guys. He's not really trying to worry about the off-court spotlight, despite the Beverly Hills thing. But he's showing more personality and showing he should be an MVP candidate.
And I don't, is anyone at this point, I feel like we're starting to get a pretty good idea of who the Boston Celtics are. They're serious. The Boston Celtics are serious. Does anyone know who's Denver?
Well, when they got their whole team, they're serious. But here's the thing: Jokic comes back from this injury. He is still putting up amazing numbers.
Insane.
He's still leading the league in assists and rebounds. But he hasn't quite been himself this last couple of weeks. Over the last 9 games, he's averaging 5 turnovers a game.
Is part of that the risk that he's been dealing with? It's wrapped some games, it's not wrapped other games.
You know he will never reference it, but clearly something is off. He doesn't turn the ball over like this. And also his shooting is down. This is a guy who was shooting almost 60% before he came back from this. He's under 50% in the last 9 games. Something's off with him. By the way, their whole team in the clutch has been subpar. Like, you get him into a clutch game, normally you got Jokic and Murray.
Especially against a shorthanded Golden State Warriors team like the other day.
They're 1 in 5 last 6 clutch games. They've got a losing record in the clutch this season. So Denver obviously need to get healthy. Their defense hasn't been strong, but their clutch play with Jokic isn't good either.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that they're looking for that final boost, and you need that momentum to carry you through the playoffs. But every time I think about the Denver Nuggets, and sorry that I picked this off, this is my octave.
Sticky.
That's my little
always make that little noise.
I look, and I'm always in shock because on our beautiful ESPN app, I know you can't see it, but I scroll.
Anyone can read? I need glasses to read that little font.
I scroll, and it's like, okay, who's the leader in points? Oh, it's Jokic. Rebounds, Jokic. Assists, Jokic. Steals, 1.4 Jokic. And then you look at the graphic to start the segment. Don't sleep on this fact. Best offenses in history through 2 different ways. even though Jokic, it may be a down year where he missed a number of games, he himself tilts he bends passes like that, but he's bending history with his talent. Yep. But then on the other side for the Boston Celtics, the fact that Joe Mazzulla's system can withstand the loss of someone that's all-team NBA, first-team All-NBA, someone that's an NBA champion in Jason Tatum, and still get the performance that they're getting. Don't sleep on these two teams. One goes through an amazing offensive player, and another is just an amazing system that has really gone through analytics and created these offenses that are juggernauts.
When I caught up with Nikola Jokic over the All-Star break, I asked him, when this team is healthy, do you believe that you are one of those ones, a team that can win a championship? And he said that there are 5 or 6 teams, he thinks the Boston Celtics, one of them, that could realistically win the championship this year. And I said, well, what about your Denver Nuggets? And he goes, we're a dark knight. A dark horse? A Dark Knight. There's a little lost in translation there. If the Joker is talking about the Dark Knight, then that's probably a good thing.
I'm picking them.
Yeah. Exactly. But he sees them as just maybe outside of those top contenders. But we'll learn a lot tonight. So let's go head-to-head. It's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook here. Chiney, more points. I'm going to start with you. Derek White or Mr. Murray?
It's got to be Mr. Murray, especially with them having to be clutch late. I expect the ball to be in his hands. So, yeah, I'm going Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray, Chiney is going with. Brian, how about we stick with points here? Should we do Peyton Pritchard and Christian Brown?
So, look, this is the second night of a back-to-back in Denver. Historically, you're going with the Nugget here, but Peyton Pritchard,
he's been.
I'm not betting against Peyton Pritchard. I'm not doing it. I won't do it.
You hear the man. More points, Jaylen Brown or Nikola Jokic here, Mark?
Ooh, Vucevic knows them from their European days, and Nikola.
I was like, well, we're winding up here. I didn't say more of a chance at a triple-double, for the record. DraftKings has the most ways to bet on your favorite NBA teams, and all customers will receive a profit boost on any placed head-to-head market. Download the app, use the promo code SCREEN. Kobe. Those are 2 names, right, that are synonymous with winning. 2 careers that are forever linked not just by championships, but by a collective mindset. But there's something else that is linked to these 2 legends, because people all around the world, they know the Black Mamba brand, the mindset, the legacy. If I said, who is the Black Mamba? You'd probably say it's Kobe Bryant, right? But that origin, it doesn't actually start with him. Our Baxter Holmes has the untold story of how the brand was initially meant for his childhood idol.
What can I say? Mamba out.
The Black Mamba became synonymous with Kobe Bryant, a mindset, a brand, and a legacy. But years earlier, Nike launched a Black Mamba campaign for another superstar, Michael Jordan. In 2002, when Jordan's career was winding down, Nike was developing the Air Jordan 19. The shoe featured a new material called Tech Flex, and it looked like snake scales. One Nike official searched the internet for what he called the most badass snake there is. The result? The Black Mamba. Nike teamed up with the advertising firm Wieden & Kennedy for the March 2004 launch. The ad featured a black snake slithering around the black and white colorway of the shoe. There was just one problem. Jordan was terrified of snakes. It was one of his closest held secrets, something the ultra competitor wouldn't want his opponents to use against him. The launch was approaching when Jordan learned pivoting from it could cost millions. He allowed the initial ad to run, but made it clear he never wanted to see the snake again.
Meanwhile, Kobe Bryant was under intense public scrutiny over a sexual assault allegation. The criminal case was later dropped after the accuser declined to testify, and a civil suit was settled out of court.
He said that during this period, he adopted the Black Mamba persona after watching Kill Bill Volume 2 to help separate his personal life from basketball and focus on what he could control on the court. In May 2006, he appeared on the cover of Slam magazine with the headline, Cold Blooded. The following year, Bryant and Nike teamed up for his signature shoe line. In late 2008 came the Kobe 4 Venoms, and by Christmas in 2010, the Kobe 6s arrived, wrapped with a snakeskin design. When some Nike executives saw Bryant's campaign, they were reminded of Michael Jordan's. Bryant wasn't shy about modeling his game, his swagger, and even the way he chewed gum after Jordan. But multiple sources say the ideas came from different places. Call it a coincidence or extraordinary karmic fate, Either way, it's yet another link between the two legends.
This is just a tremendous story, and we now welcome in the author, Baxter Holmes. Baxter, this is amazing to me that Michael Jordan, his fear of snakes almost stopped us from this moniker that we know is synonymous with Kobe Bryant. Just how far did Nike executives get down the road with Michael Jordan that an ad was released for his shoe?
It's very surprising, ultimately, given his fear, that an ad was ultimately released. But it was one of his closest held secrets. And I should also point out that the process for this one was different than before. Most of the ideas for the design of his shoes came from him. But this one started with the material, which some people thought looked like snake scales.
Right.
And the design team was off and running, and they planned it. And then by the time that they had the ad campaign ready to go and whatnot, and he saw it and expressed his fear, they said it was too close to the launch to pull out, and it ultimately came out that way.
And they were looking to bring in an actual black mamba, which is from sub-Saharan Africa, and it's illegal to bring that into the United States, as you detailed in your story, so that the snake could be coiled around this shoe for Jordan, who's ultimately afraid of snakes. This is one of those stories where you read and you say, wow, life is stranger than fiction. I had no idea. To your knowledge, did Kobe Bryant know that originally this idea was for Michael Jordan?
This was probably the biggest question that I had going into the story.
Mm-hmm.
People close to Kobe told me that he didn't know about it. When I shared the advertisement with them, they said it was the first time that they'd ever seen it. And they said that if he had known about this campaign, it would have likely given him pause about pursuing his own. Remember, he had patterned so much of his game after Jordan.
Right.
I mean, even the way he walked and the way he talked, and a lot of that came after MJ. So they talked about it would have given him pause, and he probably wouldn't have done it. Obviously, we'll never know the answer, but Nike officials do say that they were separate thoughts, separate ideas, and separate campaigns.
And yet, if he had known, this could have altered the famous Mamba outline, everything we think of as Kobe Bryant, synonymous with this. We hear players talk about the Mamba mentality. They're talking about Kobe Bryant. And yet, in an alternate universe, they could have been talking about Michael Jordan. Baxter, these stories are so delicious and tremendous. Thank you so much for bringing this to our attention and to light. I encourage everyone to read it. But since we're talking about Kobe, of course, we have to do some highlights, right? So let's check out some top of the top, friends. It's brought to you by Levi's. Our producers, they went digging in the crates for top Mamba moments. And of course, Shanae, we mean Mamba Kobe, but how wild is it that it could have been Mamba MJ?
Unbelievable.
This is top Mamba, though. I mean,
oh yeah, no flinch.
Barnes, zero flinch.
Yeah, that I aspire to have that level of unbothered.
So the story goes, was it slightly off so that it wasn't actually in Kobe's face? I don't know.
It don't matter. I would have done. I would have
exactly. And you know we had to have a game winner in here, Brian.
Which one?
Goes Glass against D. Wade and the Heat.
Runner.
There's so many to choose from. Cold-blooded.
Man, great contest.
At number 3, Mr. Spears. We're going to head back to 2006 when Steve Nash tried to take the charge. Let's just say it did not go well.
Yeah, Steve.
Bye-bye.
First and last time he tried to take a charge.
Yeah.
How about Joey Crawford?
Y'all like Joey going in.
Joey, let it be known.
Going in.
Number 2. How about the iconic poster on Dwight Howard? This one was in 2004. The footage is grainy, the dunk is not.
Oh, goodness. That's the elevator straight to the upper room, the top floor.
And then, of course, at number 1, I mean, this is Mamba out.
Yes, it is. I know what's coming.
60 in his finale.
Yep.
Of course.
Man, the amount of texts and calls, watch this game.
And this was going on at the same time that the Golden State Warriors were going for the record.
One of the most memorable regular season nights in NBA
history. An incredible night of basketball. With, of course, his family in attendance.
Salutes.
And on ESPN. But first, the Pistons, they're going to face Oklahoma City tonight on ESPN. The Thunder, they lead the NBA in defensive efficiency and opponent field goal percentage, but that defense is anchored by Chet Holmgren, who is doubtful on tonight's injury report. So let's talk about the Pistons. They rank second both in defensive efficiency and field goal percentage allowed this season. They're on pace to be just the 5th team to lead the NBA in steals and blocks in the same season. They play play hard. And Cade Cunningham looking to bounce back after shooting just 19% in Monday's loss to the Spurs. They were all over him. Cunningham scores or assists on the third most points per game in the NBA, behind Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. So they face the Cavaliers on Friday, which brings us back to our top story, because newly acquired Cleveland guard James Harden, he has a fractured right thumb. It occurred during last night's win over the Knicks, though we're not clear exactly when. The Cavaliers are 6-1 with Harden in the lineup, so his health a major factor going forward here. As we say hello once again to Shams, who's back with us. Shams, what can you tell us about the severity of James Harden's injury and his availability moving forward?
Malika, James Harden has been evaluated by a hand specialist, and I'm told he plans to play through that fracture in his right thumb moving forward. No surgery is required, so he will be playing on. There's going to be a lot of managing of the pain through treatment over the next few days. He might sit tonight in Milwaukee to let that thumb calm down. He wants to play through this injury. He will be playing through this injury. Expect him to wear a wrap or a splint. He's played through an assortment of injuries throughout his NBA career, and now this fracture in his right thumb will be just another. But James Harden avoiding surgery. Okay. He will be playing on with this fracture in his right thumb.
Okay, so tonight he may or may not sit out as he just tries to calm down that discomfort, that swelling, but long term, it seems that James Harden is going to play through this. Shams, thank you very much. That is good news for the Cavaliers, because they've been on a hot streak, and it started even before James Harden was acquired at the deadline. 13-2 over their last 15 games. That's the best record, the best offensive efficiency in the NBA over that span. Tonight, they're on the road. They face Milwaukee. So let's check in with Cavs corner over here. Brian, how concerning is this?
Well, this is usually an injury that when you see it elsewhere, players usually miss a couple of weeks. As long as it's not displaced, the player can usually be okay. So this is a concern for the Cavs, but, you know, James Harden doesn't miss that many games. He plays through stuff. I will say this is the 5th game in 7 nights, which is why Donovan Mitchell is sitting tonight and Evan Mobley, they're protecting his calf. So it would not stun me regardless of the thumb. They just wanted to give him a night off. This is actually the 3rd time this season the Cavs have had to play 5 games in 7 nights.
Yeah, so when he does, whether or not he plays tonight, Janae, he's not a right. He shoots with his left hand. So how is this going to impact the Cavaliers, his game, if at all?
It shouldn't be that bad of an adjustment. Typically, players in this circumstance, they have their thumbs wrapped and it goes like across their hands. So that means you can't really extend as much as you can. I know I've got big hands, so you can't extend, you can't really get tighter. But these guys are pros. So if he's comfortable to play, he feels like he can catch a tough ball. But I want to actually give a shout out to James Harden, because the biggest question for him was, is he going to unlock the bigs? Have you guys looked at Jarrett Allen's numbers so far this year? If you look at his field goal percentage, ever since James Harden returned 6-1 in that time, 11 for 12, 10 for 16, 4 for 6, 7 for 8. He's shooting 77% from the floor and averaging 20 points per game. That is the James Harden effect. So maybe he won't score, but I can tell you, he's probably still going to dime. And when he dimes, it's right on time to the right guy. And being able to unlock those bigs, that has been the best benefit for James Harden, not necessarily just shooting the ball.
Should we say they're the best team in the East now?
Well, Brian said it was the Knicks yesterday. Are we amending that already after we saw
the NBA best 20-6 record since December 29th?
Spears, if you know what's going to happen in the Eastern Conference, I will sit back and I will give you praise.
I'm asking right now, are they the best team in the East?
Well, they do have the easiest remaining schedule in the Eastern Conference. And when Brian did your power rankings yesterday, you had the Cavaliers third. You had the Cavaliers third. The East is so fluid. It is so dependent on injuries and schedule and all of these things. The Cavaliers' path, as long as everyone stays healthy, you gotta like.
The thing about the schedules, you gotta look at how many tanking teams these teams have left to play.
Oh, we went a whole show without saying the T word.
That's so close. That's real. That's real, unfortunately.
14 seconds left.
Listen, to me, for the Cavs, the most important thing is health. That goes right there to Harden's thumb.
That is